welcome back to the Fumble Live. Thank you for tuning in. We are talking about Bradley Beal and what might happen in his future. We're also talking about LeBron James and his legacy and whether or not it'll mean as much if the Lakers are eliminated in the first round. But before we dive in, subscribe to our channel, tap the bell for notifications. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. Here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things social media at JRayTheFanatic. And don't forget, it's Thursday. Tomorrow is Fan or Foe Friday. So get your questions, comments, make sure they're good. Maybe you'll be Fan of the Week. Make sure you get those in today.
Get them in today, you guys. We love responding and seeing all the weird stuff that some of you have to say. We love seeing you guys get in your feelings, talk about how much we've upset you throughout the week. That's what we're here for. We go on this live show every single day just to make sure we upset all of you. Jackie, how are you feeling this morning? Just give me a quick update on your life before we get into the news.
I'm feeling all right. I'm a little stressed about tonight. Devin, you had a lot more hope going into tonight's game than I did. So I'm hoping your hope can carry us through. But your girl's over here worried. I don't have any whiskey. I just looked over there. I think I do have a bottle of whiskey. But never mind. I'll be okay.
Someone postmate Jackie a bottle of tequila or whiskey or something so that she can handle tonight. Now, look, I am cautiously optimistic going into tonight, but I want to emphasize cautiously, like extremely cautiously optimistic. I feel like I owe it to the Lakers to be hopeful that it's going to turn out well, but honestly, I feel, if I'm being honest with myself, I don't feel as confident as I wish I did, right? It's just after the last game that we saw, I mean, that was really rough. And we're going to be talking about that more in my second Need to Know news story and, what all of this means for LeBron and his reputation. But for now, let's jump in. Let's talk about Bradley Beal, because he has always said that he is going to stay super loyal to the Wizards, but we have wondered if that's the best move for him for a while now. We think that he should definitely be able and be interested in exploring his options. But now, so he's obviously aware that there are rumors that are circulating regarding his future with the team and that they're just going to continue to get worse now that he's entering the final year of his contract. Now, after the game, he talked about this and he said, quote, "Ultimately, I'm in control. I think that's my biggest thing. People are going to report whatever they want, but I know where my mind is, and I know if it's not coming from the horse's mouth, then it's going to be rumors. I expect them. They're starting now." Then he went on and he said, "So it doesn't change anything. I guess it's going to increase a lot more this year with me going into the last year of my deal. But for me, I'm just relaxing, resting my body, and we'll evaluate all of that when summer comes." So after his season came to an end on Wednesday, he just really didn't have any interest in discussing his future, especially with the media. And he said, quote, "We're not going to think about that or even talk about it right now. I haven't thought about none of that as of yet." Well, to me, this doesn't sound like he's really saying that he's going to be committed to the team anymore. It almost seems like he is a little bit more open to the idea of seeing what else is out there, which I think is a good thing. He always has said he wants to retire a Wizard and he wants to stay there for the entirety of his career, but maybe it's just starting to get to him that he's really not going to achieve the level of success that he likely should. So, Jackie, do you get that same feeling from this quote that the fact that he's willing to say, "I haven't even thought about it," means there's some thinking to do? Don't you agree with me?
I definitely agree with that. I also feel, though, in that moment, that's the last thing he wants to think about, too. You just lost. He knows what his career has been like. He knows the talk that's been surrounding his career, and he knows how dope he is. And to be that dope and not succeed at something you love, he feels some type of way about that. I do feel that there's a little bit of that. Like, I don't even want to. He low-key didn't even want to talk to the media at all. Let's be honest about it. And I respect that, because that's not the moment in time you really want to talk to the media. But at the same time, he has to. The fact that he says, "I haven't even thought about that yet," because if he really was resolved in his thinking, he would have said something like, "I said what I said. You guys know where I stand on that. I'm not going to engage any further than that." He left it like that. But I think at some point, whether you're Bradley Beal or you're Dame Dollar, you have to think about it at least. I'm not saying you have to act on it, but you do have to kind of see your career dwindling away and you don't have any hardware. And, we're at the point now where guys are striving to get like 5 rings and you don't even have one, and your talent should equate to at least one. So you have to think about it a little bit. I think he would be doing himself a disservice if he didn't at least think about it, because he's just too talented to waste away at an organization that we can't even watch here in LA unless they're playing a big team. If they're not playing a major team, we can't even watch them because they're never on major television because they're that bad. So you have to be able to at least think about putting yourself and your family in the best position possible. And sometimes that means leaving. I get that he's made this vow. People get married every day. We got a 50% divorce rate in this country. So obviously vows can be broken. You can change your mind, sir. So I think it's time for him to start thinking about that.
So what do you think the likelihood is of him actually leaving the Wizards after saying that he would stay loyal for his entire career? Do you think it's relatively high at this point?
I mean, I get the optics, like Stephen A. always says. I get the optics. You said one thing, you don't want to do another. Kyrie also said he was never leaving Boston, which I thought was the dumbest thing to say because Boston is kind of the place you leave. But he did say that, and people feel some type of way about him saying that and then leaving. But at the end of the day, he shouldn't care about what people think about him. He shouldn't care that people are going to feel some type of way about the fact that he said he was going to stay forever and now he's leaving. The only thing he should care about is what is best for him. Period. Nothing else. What does he want out of this career? Because this career is not a forever thing. There is a time limit on how long you're going to be in the league. What's best for you as far as your goals in the league? What's best for you financially? What's best for you for your family? If all 3 of those things don't line up with you staying, then you should go. It shouldn't even be a question.
I agree. And I feel like this is the most open-minded I've heard him sound about the idea of leaving. Just the way I know that this isn't really the time that he wants to be talking about his future, but he acknowledges that that's like a big question mark for a lot of people. He didn't necessarily say anything to quiet those rumors or to smooth them over, where in the past, I feel like he has said, like, Wizards, this is my family, this is my home. I feel like he's been a lot more enthusiastic and vocal about his dedication and commitment to the Washington Wizards. And now hearing him sound a little bit more shaky, a little bit hesitant and apprehensive, to me makes me feel like he really truly is maybe kind of even at a 50-50 split at this point in his career. And I am honestly so happy about it. I have always admired a loyal player. I like that. We've seen Steph be so loyal to the Warriors, and we've seen so many athletes just really stick it out with their team, but they're also getting the hardware along with it. And Bradley Beal... Yeah, Bradley Beal is doing that.
The Kobe and MJ comparison, but the thing is those franchises were winning for those gentlemen. You can't make that comparison for guys that the franchise is not winning. That's not a comparison, because y'all the same people who will say, well, Kobe never left. Y'all the same people that'll drag this man for not getting a ring. You cannot have it both ways. You have to understand that it is not about you and your fandom. It is about this man and his career and what he wants. If he's content to not get a ring, and I just wouldn't understand that thought process, then I think he stays. But he definitely has to at least consider going. And there's a lot of places. I mean, we talked about this yesterday. If we had Dame Dollar, if we had Bradley Beal, would we be looking at possibly getting kicked out of the playoffs in the first? No, we wouldn't. We'd be in an entirely different situation. There are places that you can go where you can be an asset and immediately change the trajectory for that team. Go there, sir. It would just be better for you and your fan base. And that's the thing. Nobody likes the Wizards, but we like Bradley Beal. Go somewhere where you can be appreciated. It's a no-brainer for me.
It's a no-brainer for me too. And then because we did talk about Dame yesterday and whether or not he'd be leaving the Portland Trailblazers, I feel like with Dame, he's maybe a little bit more at peace with the idea of never taking home a championship win. I think that for Dame, what matters more is his individual accolades, him being respected as a player, and the fact that his family is super happy there and he seems to really enjoy his life in Portland. That being said, I don't think he would not want to win a ring. I think he would absolutely want that, but he's just more, I think, settled in the idea of it potentially not happening. But we've seen Bradley Beal after losses throughout the regular season where he looks so upset and so angry, like he wants to win a ring. And I think he got caught up in this idea of sticking it out with the Wizards and being like the guy for the Wizards, but it's just not working out for him. And so it's time to go. It is time to get out of there. And I really hope that this is the chance that he does that.
I think Russell too. I think Russell's probably going to encourage him to do that, because I would bet my last dollar that Russell has gone up to him and is like, bro, in my heart of hearts, I didn't want to leave OKC. I wanted to win in OKC. But there was a moment in time when I had to realize that wasn't going to happen, and I had to move. And this is my second move. I'm probably going to do a third. You want to come with me? I kind of think that's how it's going. And I think that he's going to encourage him to move. And I think he's out next season.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that. And I'm really excited to see if that does happen, what his future looks like, because I think it could be a lot brighter than it is right now. Now let's talk about LeBron James. We're switching gears a little bit here because LeBron's legacy has now come into question because the Lakers are on the brink of a first-round elimination. People love to talk about legacies. We love to look at an athlete's reputation, especially a GOAT-level athlete like LeBron. And with this potential first-round bounce for the Lakers, it just makes people kind of get a little bit they start to question his reputation a little bit. If the Lakers are eliminated, this will be LeBron's first round loss in his career. And Game 5 was referred to as one of the worst games people have seen in Lakers history. Like, Lakers history. So...
And at least the history since I've been alive. I mean, obviously there's games that I haven't watched, but since I've been watching the Lakers, and quiet as it's kept, I know people think I only started watching the Lakers when LeBron came here. I did watch when Kobe was here as well. So there was a brief moment in time when I didn't watch, but I've always watched the Lakers, and it was one of the worst things that I've ever seen. And for me as a LeBron fan, it was the first time in my life I've actually seen LeBron be truly disgusted with himself. I've never seen that before. I've never seen him, hit himself in the head like he's messing up really bad and just kind of get down on himself. I have never seen that. And that is why I have less optimism than you do, Devin, because you're a Laker fan, right? I'm a LeBron fan. I've followed this man his whole career, and this is the first time that I'm seeing that, and it freaked me out because I don't know what that means. I've never seen him like that, and for him to say that he needs to be 100% in order for them to win is a factual statement, because we also know he's not 100%, and he's going out there and he's trying to push his body, to be honest, beyond its limits, if you ask me. I think he did come back from that high ankle sprain a little too early, and now he's staying, and he's because he knows he has to. Because if LeBron goes out, they should just cancel the damn game. It's over. There's nothing left to do here. But I think for him to know that he has to be 100%, and then he's not playing 100%, and then to see him get down on himself like that, I've never seen anything like that since LeBron has been playing, and it's worrisome to me. It is very worrisome to me.
I admit that it's worrisome too for me as well, especially because LeBron is the kind of guy who seems always motivated and always ready to go out there and fight. And he did look defeated. The whole team looked defeated. The role players were not stepping up. LeBron didn't look as good as he normally does. It was frustrating for sure. And I think it showed that in that moment, and maybe at 36 years old, having recovered from a high ankle sprain, he was unable to carry the team. But I think that the blame for the loss needs to go to everybody, because like I said, the everybody else, the supporting cast was just not there. They weren't working together, they weren't leveling up. But basketball is a team sport, and we reiterate this thought so often here on this channel. It can't be one person's responsibility, but without a healthy AD there and the team, just this whole squad coming together and really fighting for it, it just didn't work for them. But I don't know that it feels fair to say that LeBron's legacy is losing its impact, because we have to remember that he is 36 years old, and accomplishing what he has at this age is impressive. And I always hate that kind of statement. I always hate, like, oh, but he's 36, like, look what he's done. But I think it's time we do really pay attention to that, because he is older than a lot of the guys in the league, and he's still outperforming so many of them. But he also has over a decade of experience in the league and so much to show for his career in the NBA that I think his reputation is still fully intact, regardless of this first round elimination, if it happens.
That's because common sense. That is because you have common sense. That's why you think that. People who lack common sense will say something deplorable like, oh, his legacy is on the line. This isn't Floyd Money Mayweather who's coming out to fight somebody who's never boxed in his life. If he loses, yeah, his legacy is on the line. LeBron is a 36-year-old man, and he's still in everyone's head. You know, that he's still in everyone's conversation because he's a GOAT. That's just what that is. LeBron has done so much, not only for his game, but for this league entirely. So many people are so more empowered to speak and to do what they feel is best for them in their career because of LeBron. LeBron has helped so many families outside of basketball. But what he does on the court is unnerving. The reason why everybody's looking to LeBron right now is because people are skipping over the fact that he's 36. You see this godlike creature who looks like he's in the best shape of his life, and you forget that he's 36. That also is a legacy. But people can't, you can't skip over. I say this all the time. The only thing that's ever going to win 100% of the time is Father Time. He's always going to win. He is undefeated. So this is what we're seeing right now. And I think LeBron has to come to terms with that a little bit too. And I think that's why he did kind of formulate this young squad, because I've said this time and time again, having a young squad really does help you down the stretch in your career, because it does take some of the pressure off of you. But there's no pressure being taken off of him right now. You have 3 of your starters putting up goose eggs. Goose eggs. I mean.
I know. It's horrible that was happening, and it's frustrating, and it's like surprising and shocking. But I think one thing that I do want to talk about is that Michael Jordan set the bar very high with 6 rings. Winning 5 rings puts you on the same level as other greats like Kobe, Magic, Tim Duncan. So what does this mean for LeBron's goatdom or goathood if he is not able to get to that 5th and 6th ring?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. I said what I said. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say. It's like, I said what I
said. Do you think that LeBron cares as much about legacy as his fans do or as his haters do?
Oh, I think LeBron is smarter than most of the fans and most of the haters. And I think he can step back and he can look and just be in awe of his life. I mean, literally, he says a kid from Akron. And when you think about where LeBron came from to where he is now, and just how dominant he is in everything he does, like I just don't think he's foolish enough to fall into the haterism. I just don't, because his life is amazing. And not only that, I think for most of us, at least for me, I know one of the things that I've always said, because I'm a huge proponent of adoption. I've always wanted to adopt I've always wanted to adopt a brother and sister black kid, get them out of the foster system, because I just wanted to impact one person's life, maybe 2 people's life before I leave this planet, you know? And when you can look back at your life and not only say you've impacted thousands of lives and you've made a league a little bit better, it still has a long way to go. We're going to talk about that later in the show, but you've made it a little bit better, and you've brought issues to the forefront that your predecessors, specifically Michael Jordan, were very afraid to even address. I hope he sits back and I'm in awe of his life and all that he's done, and he didn't have to. He could have literally just come into the league and been this basketball player that's amazing, and there could have been a period at the end of that sentence. A lot of guys do that. But he chose to recognize where he came from, and he chose to understand the impact that he could leave, and he's going to leave that impact far after basketball. So I hope he doesn't fall victim to the haters, because that's all they're doing. They're hating because they're never going to be nearly as great as he is. And so I hope he doesn't fall victim to that at all.
I agree with you. And I do think that it's important to acknowledge what he has done outside of basketball. And I'm really glad that you brought that up. I think the I Promise School is one of my favorite initiatives that I've seen any athlete, celebrity, or famous person get involved in, because I believe education is such an important part in transforming the way children are able to look at their futures and build their futures. And I think that that's so amazing that he's doing that. So Jackie, I know we were all hoping for Lakers in 7, but if that doesn't happen, who do you want to win in the West if it's not going to be your guy, LeBron?
Oh, I legit, as long as it's not the Clippers, I don't care. That's all I have.
Preference.
I have no preference whatsoever. I mean, probably Denver, since that's my hometown. You know, probably Denver. And I just love what they're doing. I love what Joker's over there doing, and so that would probably be my second choice. But as long as it ain't the Clippers, I really don't care. Outside of that, I'm probably going to pay a lot of attention to what the Nets are doing, because I said that the Nets, if they actually don't make it to the finals, then this whole experiment was for nothing. So, you know, that's I don't know. I'm probably going to be up reading books if like I'm not going to be watching basketball as much. Catch up on damn reading after tonight.
Okay, well, we got to listen. We got to really bring in a little bit of optimism from you, Jackie. LeBron is relying on it. I know it's tough, but you got to have it. Also, one thing that I want to mention that I think is kind of interesting, there hasn't been an NBA Finals without Steph or LeBron since 2010. That's pretty wild.
That is crazy.
I know. It is crazy. So hopefully we still get LeBron in this finals round. I'm still gunning for it. I still want to think about that. But then also just another thing that I want to add back to the Michael Jordan conversation. And I know you talked about LeBron's impact outside of basketball, but I think what we do also need to remember is that the league was different back then. And I'm not saying it was better or worse, but I think we see rookie talent come into the NBA now, and they are stellar. Like, I don't know what is happening with genetics or with training or what, but to me, it seems like the talent that LeBron is playing within the league is just on a higher level than what Michael Jordan had to play with. And I know that's a controversial statement, but do you agree with me, Jackie?
Well, the game is entirely different as well. You know, the game, from the officiating to the way that we play to the pick and roll, the ISO ball, like the game is entirely different. So it's not the same. I do think that Jordan was incredibly talented. Y'all know I don't like Michael Jordan, but I do think he was incredibly talented. I don't think he would have had, like you said, I don't think if he came into the league right now, he would have the level of success that he came in then. But you fast forward 10 years from now, and then when we're revisiting the Kobe conversation and the LeBron conversation, those guys are going to be exponentially more talented. And I know that for a fact, because I went back to my high school when I was in Denver. Them kids is twice as big as we were. And so I was like, what do y'all feel? What is in the food? They're way bigger than we are. They're way faster than we was. And I walked in there. People thought I was in high school because I was just this frail little thing coming in. Got grown men walking up and down the hallway. It's be mutating is what's happening. So I don't know what's happening.
I know. That's what I mean. I mean, you see a kid like Zion. He's massive. Or that freshman that you talked about like a week ago. That big boy. I mean, what? He was giant. So it's just, I don't know what is happening with the world and with humanity, but something is going on where these athletes are just able to build muscle more, get faster, or whatever it is. And that doesn't take away from any of the contributions Michael Jordan made. Like I said, he set the bar extremely high. Those 6 rings, that's what every NBA athlete wants to compete with and wants to at least achieve, but especially overcome. Michael Jordan is a fantastic, amazing player. I just think that the league is different now. And so that's why LeBron's 4 rings, I think, mean just as much, because he's just had to go up against such competitive talent. Okay, well, on that note, let's wrap up this LeBron conversation. Let's get into the post-up.
Yes, I'm excited to get into today's post-up. And don't forget, it's tomorrow's Fan or Foe Friday. I see you guys have already started, so let's leave some more comments in the chat. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you ask questions about who's the GOAT, my answer is LeBron James. I didn't say that Michael Jordan wasn't a GOAT. I said LeBron is the GOAT. But let's move on. All right, so let's look. What did I tell you, Knicks fans? I know Kevin Pryor, I think I saw you in the chat earlier. What did I tell you? I said karma is no joke. Y'all put all them damn little flyers in the seat trying to make fun of Trey's hair. I was like, this is gonna come back to bite you. And it did. And yeah, now y'all are out because now that Trey went out there and did his thing, he scored 36 points. And there was only one starter for Atlanta that was not in double digits, and that was Bogdanovich. And Clint Capella went out there and had a nice little double-double. You know, he had 15 points, 14 rebounds. I told y'all karma was going to come back to get you, and y'all deserve this. Trey, I'm so proud of you because Knicks fans, y'all deserve this. Take a look.
At his finest right here. A step back 30-footer. And the appropriate, you are in the garden. You might as well take a bow.
Y'all deserve every piece of that bow. That man should have taken a bow because he went out there and just remember when he said, y'all got to come back today? He had to come back to the garden to take that bow. And y'all brought that on yourself. I just want you to know that you brought it on yourselves. And I love this next tweet because it is just so poetic. It says, the child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. That's one of those prophets. And look at how unfazed he is in that sea of hate. That is a sea of hate. My man is unfazed and he is smiling and he is doing the damn thing. If y'all don't applaud for Trae Young at this moment in time, I don't know what's wrong with you because he deserved every piece of that moment. But look, this is the funny thing though, because while Knicks fans were all mad, like, okay, we'll see you next year. No, you won't. You probably won't. But anyway, while the Knicks fans are all mad, 76ers fans jumped into the conversation and they started this beef. And this guy says he won't bow again. Welcome to Philly. And already Atlanta fans are like, oh no, the town that thinks gas station food is high class and its citizens eat horse poop. I don't know about the horse poop part, but I do know that they do like gas station food.
Ew.
Devin. I don't know about the horse poop. I can neither confirm nor deny the horse poop, but I do know the gas station thing is a thing.
We gotta call Crystal Rich. She used to host here on the Fumble. Jackie, I don't think you ever got to meet her, but she was great. Now she is a beat reporter for the Sixers, and we gotta ask her about the horse poop.
I have to ask her. And even if they do that, we know Crystal's not doing that. That's first and foremost. Yeah. Let's just say that. But
definitely
I can't nor deny, but I'm definitely wanting to see this battle. I don't know if Atlanta's going to come out successful in that one. But maybe if Trae Young stays on this momentum, so we'll have to see. I kind of do already call the 76ers winning that one. But it's also good to see that the love still remains no matter what. So Derrick Rose actually gifted Trae Young a signed jersey after the game. I love this. I love to see this. He actually posted it to his IG story. And he replied with, it was an honor at D Rose. I love this because this is the thing. Like we get all in when we see fans in the chat and stuff. It's like we have this huge amount of disrespect for these guys that are playing at this amazingly high level, and we just hate on them for no reason. I don't mind anyone saying that they don't like LeBron or they don't like AD or they don't like whatever. But the fact of the matter is, you have to respect. Aside from the fact that AD seems to be turning into Mr. Glass. You have to respect the level of play that these guys play at. And I love to see this mutual respect. Somebody saw, and I knew somebody was going to see it and not realize what he said, because if you didn't see on the jersey, he signed it Shorty. He said he wrote Shorty on the jersey. That is actually one of those old school. So if you see like right in the bottom of the 4, on the butt of the base of the 4, he says, "Stay blessed, Shorty." That's an old school phrase that I've been called Shorty by, several people, like, "What's up, Shorty?" I am not short, for the record. I'm 5'11", so it doesn't apply, but it's just one of those terms of endearment. So y'all, this was no shade. I love this love that they had between them. I thought it was really, really dope. But now let's get on to this next one, because Knicks fans, I get it, because I be mad when I lose too. But who you gonna fight from the stands? What is this guy doing? Like, who's he trying to? Who? Because that's the universal sign for you want a piece of me. Who are you talking to? Who? You want a piece of me, Trae?
Yeah. Who is he talking to?
Who are you talking to? Who? I don't know. You want a piece of me? Like, come on.
Why are Knicks fans so weird? Like, what is wrong with them? I don't understand. Why? No, he doesn't want a piece of you. I don't understand this. Knicks fans are the most bizarre fans, I have decided. They are weird.
Well, I don't know. But let me tell you something. Knicks fans, Kevin Pryor has probably got to be the most sane Knicks fan I've ever met. But keep in mind, I've never been around Kevin Pryor when he's watching a Knicks game. I think I would have to see that just to know for sure. I remember when we got taken over by Urban One and we had this whole meeting and I was trashing Knicks fans. Our big boss at the time turned and looked at me and he goes, "That's enough." But he said it with all kinds of bass in his voice. And I was just kidding. Why do y'all take this so serious.
Wait. Was I there for this? I don't remember this.
So Damien was sitting right there. I forget the other lady's name that was like the HR lady. I was sitting here. Chris was sitting here. He said something about the Knicks. And you know me, I'm petty. I just went in like the Knicks is trash, da-da-da-da. So then she taps me on my shoulder. She goes, okay. I didn't know what she meant. So I kept giving Chris the business. And then Damien was like, that's enough. You were sitting here.
I don't remember. I was probably... there was a lot that happened in that meeting that I was probably like ruminating on and just thinking about and like seething over. So I don't know.
Yeah, the 6-page presentation that walked in the room. Yeah, there was a lot to process that day. So that's okay that you don't remember that. But yes, I get y'all Knicks fans. I had to experience that firsthand. So fun fact, learning experience. If your boss happens to be a Knicks fan, dial back the shade. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So let's move on to why we are all here. Because this one, I saw this when it happened, and I was like, oh, let me screenshot this because this is hilarious. Now, Kawhi scored 20 points. Obviously, that's not a lot, but it's 20 points, right? But the Clippers lost. You guys know that. They lost 105-100 against the Mavericks. Now, here's the thing, though. Kawhi was 7 for 19 from the field and 1 for 7 from beyond the arc. He also had 5 turnovers. This is not how you expect to see Kawhi in this situation, and Rondo had enough. Take a look.
And once again, the unsung hero, I believe, for Dallas, Finney Smith. I mean, contested, got in Kawhi Leonard's space, didn't go for the ball fake, forced him into a tough, off-balance three-point shot. And, of course, Dallas getting the rebound right there and a little bit of confusion.
If you didn't see what he said, Rondo said, the hell are you doing? Which is hysterical to me because Rondo had 1 point during the game. He's just so mad at Kawhi. I don't know. Maybe y'all didn't feel it was as funny as I did, but yeah, I thought this was hilarious. Devin, what did you think about this?
I think it's funny too, but I think that it shows that that Rondo expects Kawhi to be the guy not missing shots, even if Rondo's only scoring 1 point.
Right. 1 point, and you feel the need to be like, the hell are you doing, man? That is hilarious to me.
Because Kawhi's the guy. I get it. I would probably have the same reaction. Kawhi, you are not missing shots.
Oh, right. You the guy that's supposed to be getting all the accolades after the game, talking about you sunk the buzzer beater and you out here missing wide open three. I get it. It wasn't actually a wide open three. It was a contested three. But we've seen Kawhi sink that contested three time and time again. We just have. And Rondo was not here for it. He was upset. But look, Clippers have way more faith in their situation than I do. They still believe, I got this one tweet that this guy's like, Clippers in 7. Kawhi isn't going to go down like this. This is his city still. So y'all trying to tell me y'all believe them damn billboards? Is that what you're trying to say right now? Stop it. But let the rest of Twitter set y'all straight. He says, how is this his city if he still hasn't won a playoff game in Staples? And I was like, that's not oh, wait, it is. Y'all still haven't won a playoff games in Staples. And then he said, this ain't his city. He's leaving you guys probably for the Knicks after your first round exit. Had to throw that in there since I had all that Knicks shade earlier. So perhaps in the grand scheme of things, Kawhi ends up going to New York. That is not one of the places that is on my list for him to go. But maybe. I can't really see it, but maybe. All right, so now let's go on to my favorite GOAT. He's one of my favorite, not my favorite GOAT, obviously, because LeBron's my favorite GOAT, but my new favorite GOAT, because y'all know I used to hate him so much. But Tampa Bay Tom is the man. And now he's all over social media. I cannot recall seeing him on social media. I think the one time I saw him on social media is when he dove off the cliff. He went cliff diving, and all of, the Patriots fans were freaking out because they didn't want him to get hurt. That's the only time I remember seeing him on social media, and I'm not even sure if he posted that. But he is all over social media now, and he's posted his talents to TikTok to make fun of himself, and I love this. Take a look.
You guys remember this one? Fourth quarter, last chance in Chicago. I thought it was the second to last chance in Chicago, but apparently not. I don't think I've ever been as confused as I am in this moment right here. Look at that face.
So we clowned him on this show so bad for that moment. We gave him the business for that. And to see him making fun of himself and laughing about it, it's I No, I love to see it. I don't know if it's old age, like the later you get in life, the more you can be like, I messed up, my bad, that was funny, or what. But usually when Tom Brady is on social media, at least Patriot Tom Brady, when you go into the feed, you get so much hate. When I tell you I scrolled 3 times, I didn't do any more than that. But 3 times I scrolled up, I didn't see not one piece of hate. Everybody loved Tampa Bay Tom for this. This one shows love. This first tweet that I got shows him some love, says, but very few GOATs will own up to their mistakes, let alone point them out on a regular basis like Brady does. I don't know if it's a regular basis, but it's a new Tampa Bay basis. And we like it. And this one says, man, any sports fan can't help but to love TB12. Our generation has been truly blessed to be able to witness this greatness. We will probably never see anything like this again. Hats off. And thank you, TB12, for making our sports life magnificent. Look at all this love that he's getting nowadays. Look, even you in the chat right now talking about, I like Tampa Bay Tom. Devin, it's crazy. So remember back in the day, this wouldn't happen in our chat. We would get no love for Tom Brady in the chat back in the day. None of us would.
No, we wouldn't be giving him any love. The chat wouldn't be giving him any love. This is like Tom Brady haterade central. And I like that we've all grown, we've all developed, we've matured a little bit. But here's my theory, okay? Because you know how a lot of old people go to Florida to retire? They go and like live in the retirement community in Florida. They live their best lives. They're worry-free. They are basically the epitome of DGAF. Like they just don't give a F about anything. I think that Tom Brady moved to Tampa Bay. He's just living that kind of like, not because he's obviously not ready to retire, but he's living that retired kind of mentality. And I think that that's helping him relax a little bit more. Being in like the fast-paced Boston environment was probably not the best for him. Although I think they did live outside of Boston, but still it was just a lot more of like a hectic environment. So now he's just living this retiree life and he's able to just look back and be a little bit more relaxed about his life, his career, everything.
Yeah, I love, this is probably one of the few things that the chat, we all agree on. Tampa Bay Tom is the guy. I have to give Callie E a shout out. Thank you for the $5, because the Mavs need to use the Clippers home floor as their home floor so we can get this victory Friday and end the series since the home team can't win. Haha. No argument here. I don't want to see anything good for the Clippers. So no argument. Thanks for the $5. We appreciate you. All right, now let's go to this next one, because I wish I could give this more screen time. Maybe we'll let it play twice, because y'all know I love me some Myles Garrett. So you guys remember back when they had to stop Patrick Mahomes from playing basketball. The Chiefs shut all that down. Myles Garrett was out here playing basketball. He retired on Twitter, though. So let me show you this tweet. He says, I'm going back to football. I had to post this moment in time because I want you see that guy in the orange? When I show you this video, make sure you watch the face of the guy in the orange, okay? All right, let's go. Leo, roll the video. Wait, can we do it one more time? Like, ooh, are you okay?
That's so funny. He looks amused more than concerned to me.
Does he? But either way, I felt that it was one of those, ooh, I'm glad that wasn't me. Because he got you all on the ground. Better you than me, player. Better you than me. But his coach shut that down in the most diplomatic way. And I love this. Take a look.
He retired. So congratulations on a great career for Myles. Really proud of him. But he's done.
Just that. I don't know why y'all have a problem with these football. I mean, I get it. I don't know why I said that AD out here can't stay healthy for 2 minutes at a time. And I just said, I get it. I understand. Never mind. I take it back. Makes sense why you don't want your football players playing basketball. But still, anything Myles Garrett is going to do is going to work for me. Let me tell you that right now. Okay. Boxing fans, let's get ready. We have to talk about this one together because I'm concerned. I was very concerned when I showed you guys the video of Floyd Money and the punching bag. I was like, I don't know. He's looking a little slow. I'm very concerned. But then maybe I thought, maybe, like Devin said, maybe that was the end of his workout and it was just kind of a slow, whatever the hell. I don't know. This next video has re-elevated my concern. So take a look. Okay, now look, somebody at the end of that video said that's work. If that had been me doing that, yes, that's work. Because I could not go in that ring and do that right now. So yeah, for me, if I would ever be able to pull off all of those exchanges and that timing and that roll, yeah, that's work. Congratulations to me. I don't know. I didn't feel like there was any intensity. Again, I need you guys that are boxing fans in there. Let me know. Is this something that we need to be concerned about? Is Floyd going to be all right? Because I'm going to tell you right now, Twitter saw this video and they are split 50-50 because of this video. So this person says Floyd is old. Logan will kill him. Logan will KO him. He's also vulnerable to the uppercut, which is Logan's Paul's strength, which I don't okay, whatever. And so then this user, this is kind of more what I think. He says, if Floyd was vulnerable to the uppercuts, he would have already lost. Floyd isn't vulnerable to anything. He rarely ever gets hit. So credit to Conor for catching him that one time during the whole fight. And that's the thing. Floyd, he's very good at making you fight his fight. He kind of pulls you in. He doesn't take a lot of hits and you tire yourself out and then he works you. But this to me looks more like maybe just a regular workout, maybe just, how you stay fit or stay in shape. It doesn't look to me like what I expect, because I've seen some of Floyd's old training videos and they're way more intense. This looks to me like a casual, like, hey, I'm just warming up. This does not look to me like you're getting ready for a boxing match. You guys, I need you guys to tell me in the chat, what do you think? I'm going to start with you first, Devin. Do you think, what is this? Am I tripping?
Okay, I want to say, I think that he looks better than that other video we saw, so at least there's that. He's much quicker than this. Kevin L. Lang in the chat says that that's his new trainer, not his Uncle Roger, so maybe this was just like a feeling it out period. I feel a bit better watching this, but yeah, he still doesn't look like the Floyd that I would expect him to be. But I don't necessarily feel that means Logan's going to come in and actually win this fight. I honestly can't even fathom a world where that would happen. That would have to be some sort of like alternate universe. So I think he's getting there. He's gonna be looking good. Hopefully, I think he's still gonna win. But it is a little just disconcerting, this whole thing.
Yeah, there's part of me that gets it. There's part of me that feels like Floyd is like, okay, I'm Floyd Money Mayweather. I don't need to like train to beat, Logan Paul. But then there's the other side of me that's like, no, Floyd, you should train just to make sure you do beat Logan Paul. Like, I don't want you to go in there unprepared, and not, he's Floyd. Maybe he's not. Maybe it's just muscle memory. But I don't know. There's a part of me that just wants to see. I think that would be bad for Floyd's legacy as well. Up with a draw with Logan Paul, that's horrible. So I don't know, guys. This fight is in 3 days? I don't know.
The only option is for Floyd to win. Anything else that happens, a loss, a draw, I am telling you, there goes the 50-0 legacy. Like it's gone. He just lost to a YouTuber, it's gone. So hopefully this is all still part of that master PR plan that I thought it might be when we first saw that video of Floyd looking really slow. Maybe he's just trying to get people to doubt him so that he can go out there and shock everybody. Let's just pray that's what's going on here.
Yeah. Because I just, again, and it's probably because I'm so used to seeing him train before regular fights that I'm just kind of taken aback by this kind of like, I don't know, it's bothering me. But let's move on to this next one, because this is another one that I want to have a conversation about, because I want to see how you guys feel about it. But I do think that there's a conception of what happens in the minor leagues, because a lot of people on Twitter I think they just had the wrong idea. So I'm going to show you this picture from Twitter regarding what the Oakland A's minor league, the food that they're being served, and they're being dragged for this. And I think it's rightfully so. So if we have that tweet of what looks like some old, it's like the grilled cheese isn't even grilled right or something like that. Okay. Leo says we don't have the pay. How do we not have the pay? Anyway, so it's like an old school grilled cheese and really bad food. Like it just kind of looks similar to what we saw the NCAA women getting in the bubble, or that it just a really garbage food. It looked like some, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I had it, but anyway, so it looks pretty bad. But now people are complaining about this food. They're saying that, this is not right. What the kind of food that these guys are getting. And then some people are saying, well, no, they really shouldn't complain about the food. It is what it is. But I just disagree with that. So let me see. Do we have that, Leo? Do we have? Okay, well, let me just read. Let me go find this tweet and read what it says. So the tweet says, players in the Oakland A's organization shared these photos of their recent game meals. No employer would ever serve these meals to employees they care about. Why are the A's serving the food to major leaguers? So first of all, it was the minor leagues, to my understanding, because it was the advocates of minor leagues. Well, they're future major leaguers. So the food is just, like I said, it's just a grilled cheese with tomato on it. The cheese isn't melted, yada, yada, yada. Okay. So then people started posting responses to this that made them feel kind of like this is not the look that this should have. People started saying, well, they make millions of dollars, so they should be fine with that. That's not actually the case. They only make, this one says they have multi-million-dollar contracts, not like they can't get their own food. That's not actually true with minor leaguers. Minor leaguers make like $400 a week. They don't make, these are people that have regular jobs most of the time, because they get like a $400. I'm sure some get more, but the base is like a $400 a week stipend. And then another user kind of felt like, hey, you should be happy because I've struggled. This is the person that literally went, I think I counted about, so this is the quesadilla, I guess that's supposed to be. Yeah, it just looks terrible. But and then this person says, doesn't actually look too bad. Be happy you actually get food. Some people would die to eat that. Stay humble. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about somebody saying stay humble because and so this is the grilled cheese one. So when we saw the women in the NCAA bubble getting this kind of food, we lost it. We went off. We said, this is terrible. You need to feed them better. And now with the minor leagues getting this, they're not getting that same kind of love. People are saying, get over it. You make millions of dollars, which is not the case. The WNBA got some similar food in their bubble as well. So it's just one of those things that I don't know why we're not feeling the same level of disdain for these minor leaguers getting fed this type of food that we felt for the NCAA women or the WNBA. What is the difference? Devin, what do you think?
I mean, I find the reaction that people are saying, like, be grateful people would kill to eat that very surprising, because we even looked at what the NBA players in the bubble got, and we were criticizing that, and those meals look 10,000 times better than this. I do think that it's important to be grateful for what you have. It's important to be grateful for the food on your plate, but when you are in a situation where you're doing your job and you're also relying on being fed as part of your job and as part of your agreement, like, you should expect to be able to get something that's a little bit better than 3 strips of bell pepper and like a couple chunks of chicken on a tortilla, or just a plain cheese sandwich that looks like it came straight out of Fire Festival. So, I think that we can be critical of these situations, and I think we should be, because these athletes deserve better. And if they are expecting to be fed as part of their job, you can't be like, oh, you can go out and buy your own food. That's just not right. I remember when I was at cheer camp in high school, they brought in Chick-fil-A for everybody, and I'm a vegetarian, so I had fries for dinner. That was my only time I think I've ever had Chick-fil-A. I had fries for dinner. That's all they gave me. And like, I deserved a little bit more than that, I think, being there. I didn't have access to a car or money or anything. I was like 14.
And that's the thing. It's like, if it's exactly what you said. Now, if meals are not a part of you being there, then that's one thing. Yeah, you're responsible for your own food. But if your meals are something that they're going to provide for you, then they need to provide decent food. I think it's just a no-brainer. I was just a little tripped out that we didn't have the same visceral reaction that we had when we saw what these women were getting. So I couldn't help but wondering, like, oh, do we feel this way because it's a bunch of guys and guys eat whatever? I don't know. That kind of bothered me, but they definitely deserve better. And at least take the food out the stipend. You know what I mean? If I got to provide my own food so I don't get this old lettuce on this stale cheese, then let me know that. You know what I mean? But that's all I got for the post up. Now let's move into what we're not going to do. Because this one, when I heard this yesterday, so I was driving into Long Beach and I was listening to 950 Talk Radio, and they talk sports all the time. And I heard this and I thought it was misinformation because they had said it just happened. So I was like, no, there's got to be more to this. So let me give you this backstory. So you guys know there's 30 teams in the NBA, right? There are currently 7 black head coaches. And last summer, we talked about this a lot when the Nets hired Steve Nash, because it was like, all right, here's all these black coaches that have the proven experience, and you hire some guy that's never coached a day in his life. It's a level of disrespect in that situation. So right now in the league, there's only 4 black presidents of basketball operations and 3 black GMs. So when you think about that, the league is it's well over, I think it's like 76% black. I am of the mindset, and I think about this with our police departments as well. If you are in a community that is 90% black, there is no way in hell your police department should be 92% white. That is ridiculous. You should not police people you can't relate to. And I think when you're talking about positions of power, no matter what they are, you need to have a demographic that represents the body of the people that you're representing. So with the league being almost 76% black, we only have 13% of the president of basketball operations jobs being black and only 10% of the GM jobs being black. And we only have 7 black head coaches. 7 black head coaches is like this big yay, because now it's 23% black. But the fact of the matter is when it's appropriate and when it's an opportunity to hire black people, the NBA, who has gone on these long, fantastic rants about diversity and equality, they consistently look over black people to hire unqualified white people. And they do it so often that you can't do anything but laugh at it. And it's because you preach diversity time and time again, and you look like a fool. You look like a fool. And so what we have right now is the situation in Boston. I'm sure a lot of you heard about that. Alan, I see you in the chat. The NFL does the same thing. Yes, the NFL does do the same thing, but they are exponentially worse. Like, they're blatant with it. They try to stop their players from even talking about diversity. So at least they're consistent. You know, they just keep their little racism out in the forefront. But the NBA tries to seem like it's this different organization, that it's this all encompassing, that we understand that the majority of our players are black, therefore we need to have the representation. They talk such a good game, but they never, ever deliver on it. They've consistently, so much so that when a black person gets hired, we damn near have to light up fireworks and have a whole celebration for it. That shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be a thing. So now here we are in Boston. How long? This whole season, I felt like we talked about the coaching situation in Boston and how they would have these amazing highs and then these really stellar lows, and we just wouldn't know what was going on with them, right? So Danny Ainge retires as president of basketball operations. And while we're having all these conversations about Brad Stevens and his future as the head coach of that organization, he's promoted to president of basketball operations. How does that happen? How do you have this guy that the conversations about what he's doing are all over the place, and then all of a sudden you decide, hey, you know what? Screw it. Let's make him president. How does that happen? How does that make that make sense? Especially, again, when there's literally people who are qualified to do this because their resume says they are. You just gonna overlook black people? Now, look, I've said this time and time again. Half of this stuff is our fault as black people. Half of it is our fault because we don't make the necessary demands. We as a people could stick together. When you are the majority of anything, you can shut it down, period. And the fact that black players don't speak out and they don't demand certain things, that's their fault. Players' agreement or not, you have the control. And Stephen A., it's very rare, actually 100% of the time when he's talking about black issues, well, actually 98% of the time when he's talking about black issues, I tend to agree with him, and he is 100% right. So this is the best what we not gonna do, and I appreciate him for understanding, because he was at Black people know when you get to that one point where you realize you about to become a little too black for corporate America. He did the right thing. So let me let you take a look at his rant.
Players, NBA players are some of the most powerful people in this world. When have they spoken up for black coaches? When? When have they spoken up for black executives, GMs, president of basketball operations? When has that happened? LeBron, all of them, everybody. Where the hell have they been? Nobody's done anything. And then when we the media, we bring it up, and you got white folks out here gonna sit up there and look at Stephen A. and say, oh, here he is bringing up race. And none of the black players speak up and say, yo, he got a point. Yo, he's right. Yo, there's something that needs to be done here. Do y'all want me to bring up the Rooney Rule and how it might be needed in basketball? Oh, I forgot. I can't do that. Why? Because the Rooney Rule ain't even working in the damn NFL. So when are we gonna say something about it? You know what? I'm going to walk away. I'll be right back, because I'm scared I'm going to say something that might get me in trouble, because I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
Yeah, Perk, you want to respond?
I mean, I see his point.
I mean, and that's the thing. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how else to say it. There's a point in your life where you have to realize asking, crying, and praying isn't going to get it. And part of this rant, he went on with what they did with George Floyd. And he's like, with Jaylen Brown, he spoke specifically about Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Now, I think Jason is in a different situation, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful situation, but I don't think Jason can be too black, because that would probably mess up his household a little bit. So I don't know if he can take that super strong, no, I'm going to fight for black at all costs stance. I don't know if he can do that. Jaylen Brown has taken that stance, though. But I don't believe that Jaylen Brown, I think we're just now realizing how pivotal Jaylen Brown is to that organization now that he's out. I don't know if we gave him the necessary credit while he was playing. So perhaps next season, Jaylen Brown would have that voice. I don't know if he has that voice right now. So I'm not, and Stephen A's rant, if you go on YouTube and watch the whole thing, you'll see that he talked about, George Floyd kind of emphasized that it's not only the neck on the knee on our neck that is killing us, it's the knee on our neck that is really detrimental to us throughout this whole process, from our educational system to our judicial system to how we're employed, how we're constantly overlooked. And if we're going to fight, we need to fight the fight across all fronts. I 100% agree with him with that. We have to fight the fight on all fronts. He did kind of put a little bit of onus on Jaylen Brown, which I don't agree with yet, because Jaylen hasn't elevated to that power yet. But when we're talking about Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they specifically did not fight to get a black person in that position. So for me, what we not going to do is be out here talking about, oh yeah, we want equality. But when we have the opportunity to fight to get equality for our own, we don't take it. You can't have it both ways. You either bout that life or you not. But if you bout that life, you need to stand up and use your voice when you have it. I don't think that Jaylen has it just yet, but I think that he will. And then when he does have it, I think he'll use it. But right now, he doesn't have it. But regardless of who is in charge, regardless of who owns these teams, if these black players stick together and make certain demands, those demands have to be met, because if they are not, it shuts the league down. You guys have to understand your power. And until you do, you're going to have me and Stephen A. and everybody else who cares about this kind of thing going on rants. But the power doesn't lie with us. It lies entirely with the players, and y'all need to do better. Facts. I don't have nothing else to say about that. That's all I got for what we not going to do.
Jackie, I couldn't have said it better myself. I understand Stephen A's frustration. I think that this is obviously something that needs to change. This has been a prevalent problem for a long time across all sports leagues. So thank you so much for drawing attention to that. Let's wrap up the show for the day. We'll be back at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow with Fan or Foe. So leave those comments, clapbacks, trolls, whatever you want to say in the comment section below. Subscribe, tap the bell, give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you later. Bye, everybody.